Hey everyone, it's Dr. Nkosi Darnell, aka Techie SLP, as well as Debbie Spellman joining us from California. And we are excited to talk about digital organization solutions today.
Morning, Dr. Nikosi.
Hello,
So
Debbie. It's nice to see you.
thank you. So you have some organization for us for websites.
I do. I've seen on different Facebook pages, different SLPs posting about needing a way to organize their materials in a digital way. So I'm going to share one of my favorites. It's called All My Faves. And you can just go to allmyfaves.com. This is one I've been using probably for the past 7 years now. And I like it because it's a one-stop shop where you can go and look and organize all of your materials. So I use it honestly as a personal learning network. And when we talk about personal learning networks, it's just taking information and categorizing it and putting it in one place so that you're able to use it to your best advantage for learning and for teaching others. So on mine, you can see I have all of these different categories, a ton of categories, guys. I've got some on like the esophagus. I have some on oral myofunction. I mean, just different areas. And so you can see I've developed a lot of different categories over the years, right? And this is not even just related to speech therapy, but I'm going to show you how to create one for yourself. So I've gone to this little blank screen here. It's a new one, and I gave myself a new username. And so what you're going to do, well, first of all, actually, you can look down here and you can see all of these different sites and like whether it's YouTube or Vimeo, things like that, that you can actually add into your own personal learning network if you want to. But if you really want to just focus on speech therapy, you would go to that, and let me do that again, to this right corner where this little plus sign is. Click on it, and then you're going to give a title. So if I wanted to work on articulation skills, for instance, I would just type in articulation and I would add that to my tabs list. So when you go over here, you can see there's a whole tab list for articulation, and you can fill all of these different boxes with the different sites that relate to articulation. If you wanted to break it down even further, you could even label this, articulation for blends, for R sounds, whatever specific sound category you want to work on. Now, to actually add a specific site, you click on one of the tabs and you could take a URL, and I'm just going to type one in here, enter. Okay, and then you can add another tab for shapes as well. And you can see whenever you go into each category, you can add your faves. So if I wanted to click on another site, for instance, I would just copy that site's address, and then I could go in and then paste it. And then what will happen is once I submit it, you can see San Diego Zoo pops up. So then I can just click on it again, and then it takes me to that specific site as well. And so when we go back and look at this, it's a great organizational tool. You can put in, whatever you want, articulation, colors. I have some for inferencing, for swallowing disorders. You're able to easily access it. And the other thing that I like to do, guys, is sometimes if I'm assigning like online practice for my students, I'll go in and I'll actually create their own tab. So, and of course with like not a real name. So, but they'll know what the name is. And so then I'll give them a tab and I'll put all of their different assignments, whether it's like a PDF or like a website where I want them to go through and do some practice. I'll put them all on this site under their name that I've given them or assigned to them, and their parents can log them in and they can just access it and go to all of those sites. So it's just a great tool for organizing your different digital tools, and you can just go to allmyfaves.com and you're able to access everything right at your fingertips without having to type in the website every time. What do you think about that, Debbie?
I think that's really cool. I have a couple of questions. So if a student is to access it, can two people be accessing the form at the same time?
Yes, you can have multiple people accessing this form at the same time. It does not matter. There's no limitation on the number of people accessing the All My Faves site.
And where does it live?
It lives online.
It lives online.
It does. It's actually just a digital site. It lives online if it could be living anywhere.
And can you search it? Can you do a control find if you're looking for something and you're not certain where it is?
Exactly. So right here you can see this Google button. And so whenever you go into Google, you can actually search specific topics and it will generate all of the different responses or the different finds from your search.
And does it remember your sign-ins to put
Yes,
it in?
it will remember your sign in if you want it to. And typically you just click on the box for that. So it will remember your login.
So is that a problem when you share it with people? Like if you had your Netflix sign in on there, that could
You
be a
know,
problem,
I
right?
wouldn't share this particular one. Like I would create a separate one for your personal things, such as your Netflix sign in. But if like this one, for instance, is working on articulation skills and all of your work related finds for activities, then that should be fine and safe. But it was like anything personal, I wouldn't put it on here and share it with your students. You would just keep that private.
Makes sense.
Mhm.
So you name each time, like if you create your faves and let's say it's personal, you name it, and then you could create another one that is a shared document.
Well, so let me show you. So I actually shared my personal one with you initially. So I actually have a completely different login for my
Oh,
personal
okay.
site. And then it's a different login for the shared site. So you'd have to basically create two accounts.
Okay. And do you do that just for ease for everybody out there? Do you do that on two different browsers so that your computer is at least remembering those logins?
Yes, you could do it on two different browsers if you wanted to. That would be an option as well. You could do it under the same browser. And typically I just log out and then I'll log back in under the secondary shared site.
Okay. So you don't name whatever organizational chart that you're coming up with. You don't do that. It's just you log in and it's there.
Yes, exactly. You log in and it's ready to go.
Okay. Very cool. I think this is going to be very helpful for lots of us speech therapists out there.
Wonderful. I'm glad you liked it. I hope everyone finds this helpful and that you're able to be better organized and prepared for your sessions. Okay, take care and we look forward to seeing you next time.